This part of the course, I want to show you a real-world example of a product roadmap in Jira. And as you can see here, we have the whole year from January till December, and we've divided that in the product roadmap by quarters, which is typically something you would do when you're developing a product roadmap. So you have here Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. That stands for quarter 1 of the year, quarter 2 of the year, quarter 3 of the year, and quarter 4. So the whole year divided in groups of 3 months, right? So the first group is January till March, second April till June, third July till September, and the fourth quarter October till December, right? So vertically, you have here the quarters of the year, right? And horizontally, you have different groupings or categories, which in this case are basically streams of work, right? So this is something we've created specifically for this, right? Obviously, the groupings and the categories could vary depending on the type of product that you're developing, right? But you can see here we have archiving, audit requirements, data governance, discovery portal publishing, and essential maintenance. So in this particular case, those are the streams of work for this product that we're building. And that's why we've called them with those names, and that's why we've grouped the different work that we're doing in those different big streams of work. Now, because we're working through this using Agile in our development process, you can see here that we have the different sprints, sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4, etc., up until sprint 15, which is our current sprint. Now, this road mapping functionality in Jira allows you to add this label here so you can see from which date till which date is the sprint, right? And what you're seeing here as well below are the different epics that are part of this product, of what we are building, right? And you can't fully read the name of all of this because it sometimes shortens it, and that's just something because of space constraints in the tool itself. But if you couldn't read the whole name, if you just hover your mouse over it, like so, you'll be able to see the full name, OCFL, Auto Index, and Cleanup. And this one, for example, says solution this, and then you can't read it. But if you hover your mouse over this, is solution design and process documentation part 1, all right? So the different colors here that you're seeing just basically indicates different types of epics. And then, like I mentioned before, because of the grouping that you have horizontally, this is just categories of the work that you're doing. So everything that is underneath archiving, even though it might have a different color or a different name, relates to the archiving stream of work. So these are basically all different epics, so different chunks of work that we need to get done so that we can actually develop the archiving functionality in this product. Okay, so all of these epics that are here will allow me to actually get done the archiving functionality that I need to complete. Okay, now, if I actually opened up any of these, for example, this one, ONI MVP for Research Office, let me just right click that and open that in a new tab. So we're opening up this epic here, ONI MVP for Research. And when I open it, you can see here all the user stories below it that are part of this epic, right? So as you know, Jira calls them issues. This is just a system terminology, but there are actually user stories, okay? And if you hover your mouse over this, icon here, this green icon, you can see it's a story. This red one here is a bug. Okay, so it's a bug. So all of these different user stories are part of this ONI MVP for Research epic, right? As you can see here, that's why it's called here an epic. And archiving is the stream of work, which in Jira we refer to it as component. Okay, so you're seeing here the product roadmap for the whole year. So one of the reasons why product roadmaps are so important, so valuable, and so great for stakeholders is because at a glance, look at this, in a single page, in a single view, you can see everything that's going to get done throughout the year, what specifically is going to get done, when it's going to get completed, and how is the workload distributed across the different months of the year, and when things are going live as well, all right? So that's really cool. So you can see here, for example, if we went down here to the Discovery Portal Publishing, we have here 2 epics related to the Data Portal upgrade. Okay, you can see them down here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it better. Now, in this example that you're seeing on screen, we're using the road mapping functionality by Easy Agile. So this is part of the Jira marketplace, and I'm just going to right click on that here, open link in new tab so you can see it. So Jira, or Atlassian, the company that created Jira, they have a little marketplace which basically allows you to add extra functionality and extra things into Jira, so to make it more powerful, more robust, right? So a little bit similar to what Salesforce does, or many other platforms like or products such as Microsoft Teams, etc., which allow you to add extra functionality. So Jira does the same thing, right? So this company here, Easy Agile, has developed a few products to enhance that functionality, and that's what we're using here in case you're wondering what you're seeing. So this is one of those things that is not out of the box. So Jira does have a road mapping functionality out of the box, but we've actually enhanced it a little bit with this add-on that is by Easy Agile in the company, and that we're working and actually added that extra functionality to make Jira and the road mapping functionality of Jira a little bit more robust. Why? Because we wanted to see epics, markers, a couple of other things, okay? But again, Jira does have an out of the box default road mapping functionality, which you can use, which is very similar to this. Not exactly like this, but very similar to this, all right? Now, the markers here, these colors here that you're seeing vertically are the markers. If I click on this markers button, it's going to show you here, and that basically allows you to see these markers, okay? And you can create epics here as well by using this button, okay? I'm just going to cancel that, okay? But that's just to show you, like I said, an example of the product roadmap here in Jira. And the key thing for me that I want you to take away in this lesson and in this part of the course is that the product roadmap allows you to distribute and plan the work that you're going to get done in the foreseeable future, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be 1 year. Like it could be 2. Some people do, roadmaps up to 5 years in advance, right? But in this particular scenario, we're looking at a 1-year view of this development and this build. And you can see how we've distributed, and this is something that you would do as a team, of course. You wouldn't do this yourself. But generally, product managers own the product roadmap, and they're the ones that actually oversee how this is built and how this is constructed. But the team is part of it, and the whole team participates in how this is developed, how the workload is distributed, etc., right? Because obviously not a single person can make such an important decision without taking into account the input for everyone that is working on this. We need the input of everyone that is working on this. All right. So you can see here the first quarter and the work on the second quarter, etc. So as a team, we try to distribute when you're looking at how to distribute the work that you're going to be doing in your product roadmap, you got to think, of course, about your resources. So how many people you have working on this. You got to think about the workload, the complexity of the different things that you're doing, and then how much you can actually realistically get done, right? And then you start mapping it out, and you start putting the different work, spreading the different work across the different quarters and across the different months and across the different streams of works vertically as well, all right? So like we talked before, these big things and these colors here that you're seeing are epics. So big deliverables that you're seeing on screen are epics. And then inside each of those epics, like we saw before in this ONI MVP, there are a bunch of user stories that need to get done so you can actually take this one complete, okay? So once all of this gets done, we'll be able to actually mark this one, this big epic complete, meaning after I did all of this, automatically this gets done because all of this is actually like a child and this is like the parent, right? So the epic is like the bigger thing because it's so big you can't do it in a single sprint, and all of the user stories that you're getting done through your sprints, once you complete these user stories that are part of this epic, well, then automatically the epic is then done. It's considered complete, all right? And as you can see here, we've gone through multiple sprints, and some of this work is still, it's still ongoing, right? Because there's still other user stories that still need to be completed. But over time, as you're completing the whole user stories, then you'll be completing the sprint, the epic as well. And then that way you can continue to move on to the next one. All right. But like I said, basically this is really good because it allows you to see when things are going live, when things are going to get completed. And obviously a product roadmap is not static. It's something also that moves according to the pace, the velocity of the team, right? So sometimes you might need to shift things around. And another thing that you would consider, of course, as you're building your product roadmaps are dependencies. So sometimes you would say, okay, I'm not going to start this solution design, for example, here until I've actually completed the ONI MVP for Research Office first, right? And that's why this is sitting afterwards and after you actually have these epics, okay? So that's an example, all right? In the essential maintenance bit here at the bottom, you can see we have operating system patching, etc., every single quarter, because that's something that we're doing regularly, regardless of what's happening above. In this scenario, we still need to do the patching every quarter, and that's why it's looking like this, all right? Okay, guys, so this is basically what I wanted to show you in this example of product road mapping in Jira. And like I said, building this is very easy. You just create the epics, create the themes, and you can filter here if you need to filter just the musts, just the shoulds, the coulds. We're seeing everything right now because we haven't actually applied a filter. But this is really a good way of you developing, or it's a really good tool for you to develop a product roadmap in Jira. Like I said, which basically allows you to see what's going to be developed over time and when things are going to get completed. And you can continue to track progress, of course, by drawing your sprints using the marker functionality here. Okay? All right, guys, so that's what I wanted to show you on this lecture of the course. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.